Romance of the Three Kingdoms, Chapter 16.
So let's set the scene. We've got the ambitious warlord Yuan Shu. He's really set on eliminating Liu Bei, who at this point is garrisoned in a place called Xiaopei, kind of vulnerable.
Yeah, very. And the strategic dilemma Yuan Shu's facing is, well, quite interesting. Liu Bei himself, maybe an easy target. But there's this huge complication, Lu Bu, the incredibly powerful general. He's nearby in Zuzhe,
Ah, Lu Bu. Always a factor.
always. And crucially, Yuan Shu owes Lu Bu. Big time. Gold, provisions. And that debt makes Yuan Shu nervous. He's worried Lu Bu might actually step in and help Liu Bei if he attacks.
Okay, so that's the problem. What's the solution?
Well, Yuan Shu's general, a guy named Yang, he comes up with this clever, maybe devious plan.
Uh-huh.
He suggests sending a lot of provisions, specifically 200,000 hu of grain, to Lu Bu.
Wow, 200,000 Hu. That sounds like a massive amount. How much is a Hu, roughly?
It's significant. I think maybe 50, 60 liters per hu. So yeah, enormous.
Okay. And the goal of this huge grain shipment?
It's basically to appease Lu Bu, keep him happy, keep him neutral, buy Yuan Shu enough time to go capture Liu Bei first.
And then deal with Lu Bu later, maybe take Zuzhe.
Exactly. That's the plan. And Yuan Shu loves it. He immediately sends his envoy, Han Yin, off to Lu Bu with the grain.
And does it work, initially?
It does, yeah. The immediate impact is just what they hope for. Lu Bu is pleased, treats Han Yin well. Seems like he's neutralized, right?
Okay, so Lu Bu seemingly out of the picture for now.
Looks that way.
Mm-hmm.
So Yuan Shu moves forward. He sends his general Jiling, along with his deputies Lei Bo and Chen Lan, leading tens of thousands of troops to attack Xiaopei.
Tens of thousands. That puts Liu Bei in a really desperate spot.
Oh, absolutely. He hears the news, and his forces in Xiaopei are tiny. Just over 5,000 men.
5,000 against tens of thousands. Oof.
Yeah, and provisions are dangerously low, too. His brother, Song Fei, the fiery one,
Always ready for a fight.
right, he wants to fight. But another advisor, Sun Han, suggests something else. A more diplomatic path, maybe. Appealing to Lu Bu for help.
Appealing to Lu Bu, but didn't they just say Lu Bu seemed neutral?
No.
And Zhang Fei? I bet he wasn't keen.
No, not at all. Zhang Fei scoffs, basically says, how would that scoundrel ever agree? He does not trust Lu Bu.
Understandable given their history.
But Liu Bei, he sees the reality of their situation. He actually agrees with Sun Han. He drafts this letter to Lu Bu.
What does the letter say? It must have been carefully worded.
Oh, absolutely. It's a plea for rescue. He acknowledges Lu Bu was kind before, letting him stay in Xiaopei. He stresses the danger, saying they're lost at any moment. It's basically a desperate appeal to a former rival, hoping their shared enemy, Yuan Shu, is enough to sway him.
Okay, so the letter goes off to Lu Bu. This is where it gets really interesting, right? The calculation starts.
Exactly. Liu Bei's desperate letter arrives, and Lu Bu immediately talks it over with his strategist, Chen Gong.
So what's Lu Bu thinking? He just got a massive bribe not to help Liu Bei.
Right, and that's the brilliance, or maybe the cold calculation of Lu Bu's thinking here. He remembers Yuan Shu's grain and the letter. He knows why it was sent to keep him out of this fight.
Mm-hmm.
But Lu Bu thinks strategically. He realizes, okay, Liu Bei and Xiaopei, not really a threat to me. But if Yuan Shu beats Liu Bei, absorbs his forces, maybe unites with other generals over in the Tai Mountains, then Yuan Shu becomes a huge problem, a direct threat to Lu Bu himself, right there in Zuzhu.
Ah, so it's not about helping Liu Bei out of friendship.
Not really, no. It's classic realpolitik, self-interest, preventing a bigger threat down the line by keeping a smaller buffer, even if it's Liu Bei, the enemy of my enemy.
Is my friend, at least for now. Makes sense.
Yeah. It shows how these alliances shifted based purely on who posed the greatest threat at that moment. It wasn't about loyalty, it was survival and power.
So the core takeaway. Lu Bu decides saving Liu Bei now is strategically smarter. It stops Yuan Shu getting too powerful right next door.
Exactly. So he quickly gets his troops ready and marches toward Xiaopei.
Okay, so picture this. Jiling's army arrives, sets up this huge camp southeast of Xiaopei. The text says their banners hid the hills, drums shook the heavens. Very dramatic.
Very. Liu Bei, with his tiny force, is bracing for the attack. But then Lu Bu arrives. Camp's just a mile southwest.
So Jiling sees this. He must realize Lu Bu isn't neutral anymore.
Oh, yeah. He immediately sends Lu Bu a letter, basically accusing him of breaking his word, of bad faith.
And Lu Bu's response?
He just laughs. Says he has a plan to make both Yuan Shu and Liu Bei happy, which sounds impossible.
Definitely sounds tricky. What's the plan?
He sends out envoys, invites both Jiling and Liu Bei to a banquet in his camp. at the same time.
Whoa. Inviting opposing commanders to dinner while their armies are facing off, that's bold.
Incredibly bold. And the reactions are just what you'd expect. Liu Bei actually wants to go.
Really? Despite Lu Bu's reputation, what about Guan Yu and Zhang Fei?
They strongly warn him. They think it's a trap. But Liu Bei, maybe out of trust, maybe desperation, decides to go. He takes his brothers with him. It feels like walking into the lion's den, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So what happens when Jiling arrives?
Well, Jilin gets there, walks into Lu Bu's tent, and sees Liu Bei already sitting there. He's utterly shocked, tries to turn and leave immediately. Totally panics.
Yeah.
But Lu Bu grabs him. The text says he pulls Jilin back, as if lifting a child. Just shows off his immense strength right there.
Intimidation tactic.
Definitely. Jilin's terrified.
Yeah.
Asks Lu Bu, are you going to kill me? Or Liu Bei?
And Lu Bu says,
Neither. He says Liu Bei is his brother. Claims he just dislikes fighting and prefers sorting things out peacefully.
right, after manhandling him.
Exactly. It's pure power play. He then seats himself right in the middle, Jiling on his left, Liu Bei on his right, starts pouring wine.
Setting the stage.
Yep. After a few rounds, Liu Bu suggests they both just stop fighting. Call it off.
In Jiling's reaction, he has orders from Yuan Shu.
He refuses.
Um,
Adamantly. Says, my lord Yuan Shu sent me with 100,000 troops specifically to capture Liu Bei. How can I stop?
you can just imagine Zhang Fei bristling at that.
Oh, absolutely. The tension must have been thick enough to cut. And sure enough, Zhang Fei draws his sword.
Of course he does.
Yeah, scoffs at Jiling's 100,000 troops, says they're like children's play compared to the yellow turbans they fought. Threatens Jiling if he dares touch Liu Bei.
Classic Zhang Fei. Does Guan Yu step in?
He does. Guan Yu quickly tells him to be patient. Let's see what Liu Bo is really planning here.
Smart. But Lu Bu must be getting annoyed by now.
Furious. He sees them bickering and calls for his halberd, his famous painted halberd.
Okay, now everyone must be scared.
Totally. Jiling, Liu Bei, they're both terrified. This isn't just talk anymore. Lu Bu's bringing out the hardware.
So Lu Bu gets his halberd. What now? A duel?
Not exactly. He holds it up and declares that whether they fight or not, well, it all depends on heaven.
On heaven? What does that mean?
It means he's setting up something dramatic. He gives this shocking instruction. Take my halberd, plant it way over there 150 paces away outside the main camp gate.
150 paces? That's quite a distance.
It is, especially for what he proposes next.
Which is?
He lays out the terms. If he, Lu Bu, can shoot an arrow and hit the small side branch, the G of that halberd, from 150 paces.
Hit the small branch, not just the main shaft.
Exactly. The
Yep.
tiny branch on the side. If he hits it, both armies have to pack up and go home. Cease hostilities.
And if he misses,
Then they're free to go back to their camps and prepare for battle the next day.
what does Jiling think of this? 150 paces, small target? Sounds impossible.
That's exactly what Jiling thinks privately. Impossible shot. So he readily agrees. He figures, okay, Lu Bu will miss, and then I get to fight Liu Bei tomorrow anyway. No skin off my back.
And Liu Bei?
Liu Bei is just silently praying Lu Bu makes the shot. His survival depends on it. It's an incredible gamble, a brilliant psychological play by Liu Bu, daring them to bet against his legendary skill.
Okay, the moment of truth. Describe the shot.
Right. Liu Bu pulls up his sleeve, knocks an arrow, draws his bow all the way back to its fullest extent, shouts, hit!
Goosebumps.
And the description in the text is just beautiful, really poetic. Bow drawn like an autumn moon across the sky, arrow flying like a falling meteor.
Wow.
And the arrow flies true. Thwack! Hits the small branch of the halberd, dead center.
He did it.
He did it. An impossible shot. And immediately, a huge roar goes up from everyone watching, generals, soldiers, everyone. Just pure astonishment and cheering.
You can almost hear it, that collective gasp, then the roar. Incredible.
It really is. And the power of that single shot is just immense. The source even includes a poem praising his divine archery.
Oh, yeah. What does it say?
It claims he surpassed Hao Yi, a legendary archer from mythology, and even wanted to surpass another, Yu Ji. Talks about the tiger sinew string and eagle feather arrow piercing the halberd branch.
So this wasn't just showing off, it was a calculated display.
Absolutely. It's a masterclass. Using this undeniable proof of his incredible personal ability to completely dominate the situation psychologically, to force a diplomatic outcome that negotiation probably couldn't achieve.
Because who's going to argue with someone who can do that?
Exactly. It
Yeah.
instantly broke the tension, disarmed the whole situation, sent, as the poem says, 100,000 brave soldiers packing. Just incredible how one person's skill could literally change the course of events like that.
So what happens right after the shot? The cheering dies down.
Liu Bei laughs, this triumphant laugh, throws down his bow, walks over, grabs the hands of both Jiling and Liu Bei.
Brings them together again.
Yep. Proclaims that heaven itself decreed they stop fighting, orders more wine. They all drink this big toast.
How are Jiling and Liu Bei feeling now?
Well, the text says Liu Bei feels secretly ashamed, maybe because he needed rescuing like this. And Jiling just stays silent for a long time, probably still processing what just happened. A real mix of relief, awe, maybe humiliation for Jiling.
So how does this wrap up? Does Jiling just leave? He must worry about reporting this back to Yuan Shu.
That's exactly his concern. He tells Lu Bu, my lord Yuan Shu isn't going to believe this story when I tell him.
Good point. It sounds unbelievable.
So Lu Bu, ever practical, says, no problem, I'll write a letter myself confirming everything. He personally vouches for the arbitration.
Okay.
So Jiling takes the letter and leaves first. Then Liu Bei turns to Liu Bei.
What does he say to Liu Bei?
Basically, if it wasn't for me, you'd have been in serious trouble back there.
Which is true.
Completely true. Liu Bei thanks him profusely, then heads back to Xiaopei with Guan Yu and Zhang Fei.
Yeah.
And the next day, all three armies just disperse peacefully. Gone.
Amazing. A war averted by an arrow shot, but
Yeah.
the peace probably doesn't last, right? Especially in Yuan Shu's mind.
Not a chance.
Yeah.
Jiling gets back to Huainan, reports everything to Yuan Shu, hands over Lu Bu's letter.
How does Yuan Shu take it?
He is absolutely furious. Furious. Condemns Lu Bu,
Huh?
says he took all that grain and then just played a child game, a trivial parlor trick to protect Liu Bei unfairly.
So much for Lu Bu's diplomacy satisfying Yuan Shu.
Not at all. Yuan Shu immediately declares he's going to personally lead a massive army now. Not just against Liu Bei, but against Lu Bu too. He wants to conquer them both.
But Jiling, having seen Lu Bu up close, does he advise caution?
He does. He reminds Yuan Shu, look, this guy Lu Bu is incredibly brave. He controls Zuzu. It's a strong position.
Yeah.
He argues, if Lu Bu and Liu Bei actually team up now, form a real alliance, defeating them would be extremely difficult. Maybe impossible.
So fighting them both head-on might be risky. Does Jiling have another idea?
He does. Another scheme. He calls it a stratagem of alienating close relations.
Ooh, sounds sneaky. What is it?
It's a classic tactic, really. So discord between allies, turn them against each other.
How would they do that with Lu Bu and Liu Bei?
Jiling suggests Yuan Shu propose a marriage alliance. Offer Yuan Shu's son in marriage to Lu Bu's daughter. She's apparently of marriageable age.
A marriage alliance to Lu Bu.
Yeah. Jiling's logic is, if Lu Bu agrees to become family with Yuan Shu through marriage, then surely he wouldn't hesitate to turn on Liu Bei. He'd kill Liu Bei for his new father-in-law.
Break the potential Liu Bei-Lu Bu bond before it's solidified.
Exactly. Isolate Liu Bei again. And Yuan Shu, always up for a scheme, agrees immediately. He sends the same envoy, Han Yin, back to Zuzu, this time loaded with gifts for the marriage proposal.
Wow. The plotting never stops.
Yuan Shu's envoy, this guy Han Yin, shows up. And he's got this grand proposal. His boss, Yuan Shu, wants Lu Bu's daughter to marry his son. The idea is to forge this lasting bond.
A powerful alliance on paper.
Now, to really get why Lu Bu reacts the way he does, you need a bit of background on his family situation.
Right. Context is key.
This daughter, she's his only child from his first wife, Yan Shi. He apparently cherished her a lot.
Yeah.
No kids from his concubine, the famous Diao Chan. Or his second wife, who was from the Cao family and had passed away. So this is his sole heir, essentially.
Yeah, and Yanxi, the wife, she sees this immediately as a huge opportunity, like massive.
You can imagine.
Yeah, she's thinking, empress. Yuan Shu's making no secret he wants to be emperor, right? So their daughter could be empress.
Wow, okay. Big leap.
And beyond just the status, it's security. Securing Zuzu, securing their future. So they jump at it.
Quick agreement then.
Very quick. And that speed, it tells you a lot about what they wanted: status, stability, and maybe, what they feared, their vulnerabilities.
Okay, so you'd think this big alliance deal would involve, I don't know, some careful planning, long talks.
You would.
But nope. Lu Bu's chief strategist, Chen Gong, he throws a wrench in the works almost immediately.
Always a strategist lurking.
He goes to see Han Yin, the envoy, kicks out the guards, gets him alone,
Okay.
and basically asks, is Yuan Shu really after an alliance? Or is he just trying to get Liu Bei's head?
Whoa, straight to the point. Han Yin must have been startled.
The text says he was visibly startled, yeah.
So Chen Gong's advice here is super urgent. He says, look, if this alliance is real, don't wait. Send the daughter to Xiaochun to Yuan Shu, like, now.
Bypass all the usual waiting periods.
Exactly. He even lays out the traditional timelines: emperor's betrothal a year, feudal lord half a year, and so on. He argues speed prevents interference, stops anyone changing their mind midstream.
Preemptive move.
It's fascinating, isn't it? He's using urgency as a strategy itself, trying to lock it down before second thoughts or rival plots can emerge. It's a gamble on trust, really.
And Lu Bu, he buys it.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Right. Convinced by Chen Gong, he gets the dowry ready, horses, fancy carriages, the works.
All very fast.
And he sends General Song Xian and Wei Zhu off with Han Yin to escort his daughter. Big fanfare, drums, music. Like, it's a done deal.
Celebration might be a bit premature, though.
You think? Well, yeah, because not everyone celebrates. Back in Zuzhou, there's this older statesman, Chen Gui.
Chen Gui, a wise head, father of Chen Yuanlong.
That's him. He hears the music from his home, even though he's sick,
Mm-hmm.
and he immediately smells a rat. Calls it a strategy to estrange a close friend, meaning Liu Bei.
Precisely. He sees through it.
So, despite being ill, he makes this dramatic entrance, rushes to Lu Bu,
Doesn't sound good.
tells him straight up, you're walking into a death trap.
Wow. Okay, laying it on the line. So what's Chen Gui's reasoning?
His analysis is incredibly sharp. He says Yuan Shu doesn't actually want family ties. He wants the daughter as a hostage.
Well, hostage. The text uses the word quality, like a guarantee or a pawn.
Right, a pawn. So Yuan Shu can then attack Liu Bei over in Xiaopei without Lu Du interfering.
And if Xiaopei falls...
Then Zuzhou, Lu Bu's own base, is next. It's totally exposed.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How often are these big alliances just, well, a cover for something else entirely? Not building bridges, but setting traps.
Yeah, Yuan Shu's playing a deeper game.
Definitely. Chen Gui breaks down the trap even further. If Lu Bu has Yuan Shu attack Liu Bei, he gets worn out, makes powerful enemies, and Yuan Shu will probably turn on him next anyway.
Okay, bad option one.
Bad option one. If he refuses to help, he breaks the alliance with Yuan Shu, invites war with him.
Bad option two. Lose-lose.
Exactly. And the kicker, Yuan Shu wants to be emperor. That makes him a rebel against the central Han court.
Ah.
So if Lu Bu allies with him, especially through marriage, Lu Bu becomes a rebel relative. Totally isolated, cut off from everyone else. It's a perfect trap.
Lu Bu must have been floored.
Absolutely shocked. According to the text, his first reaction, Chen Gong misled me.
Ah, just like that. Shows how impulsive he is.
Totally. Easily swayed. He immediately orders General Zhang Lia, grab the entourage, get my daughter back, and throw Han Yin in jail.
Pulls a complete 180.
Instantly.
And he sends a message to Yuan Shu, basically lying, saying the dowry wasn't quite ready. He'll send her later himself.
Buys himself some time.
Then Chen Gu gives more advice. Send the prisoner, Han Yin, to Shudu.
To Cao Cao, Yuan Shu's major rival.
Exactly. Turn Yuan Shu's own envoy into a gift for his enemy.
Clever.
Very clever. But what's really striking is Lu Bu himself. He's like a weather vane, just swings with the last strong wind of advice.
Yeah, first Chen Gong, now Chen Gui. It really hammers home that question. How much does a leader's fate depend on who they listen to and when? Lu Bu is almost like a puppet to the latest argument he heard. Although, interestingly, he hesitates on that last bit of advice.
About sending Han Yin to Cao Cao.
Yeah. He doesn't do it right away, leaves that loose end dangling. Which, might come back to bite him.
Trouble always finds Lu Bu, it seems. Just as he deals with this, a new report comes in.
Oh, what now?
Liu Bei, over in Xiaopei. He's recruiting troops, buying horses.
Okay. Standard procedure for a commander.
That's what Lu Bu thinks initially. Dismisses it. Nothing to worry about.
Famous last words, perhaps?
Pretty much. Because then, Song Xian and Wei Shu, the generals he sent with his daughter originally, they come rushing back.
The ones who just got recalled.
Yeah. And they've got bad news. They bought over 300 good horses up in Shandong.
Right.
But on the way back, near Pei County, 150 of them got stolen.
Why?
Brazenly stolen by strong bandits.
Bandits or...
Or none other than Liu Bei's hot-headed brother, Zhang Fei, in disguise.
Zhang Fei. Oh boy. That's pouring gasoline on the fire.
You bet. Lu Bu explodes. Total rage. He accuses Liu Bei of being ungrateful, especially after that time Lu Bu saved him with his archery skills, remember?
The archery at the gate incident, yeah. Prevented a war between Liu Bei and Yuan Shu's general.
But Zhang Fei, he just admits it. Steals the horses, then throws it back in Lu Bu's face, saying Lu Bu stole Zuzhou from Liu Bei first.
Oof. That's bold, even for Zhang Fei.
It leads straight to a massive fight. Lu Bu versus Zhang Fei. Over 100 rounds, apparently. No clear winner. just pure fury.
An epic duel. So Lu Bu marches on Xiaopei.
He does. Lu Bu pulls back inside the city walls, and Lu Bu lays siege.
Okay. Siege situation.
And Chen Gong pipes up again. Advises Lu Bu, kill Liu Bei now, get rid of him. He's going to be trouble down the road.
Pragmatic advice? Maybe ruthless, but strategically sound from Chen Gong's perspective.
But Lu Bu ignores him.
So Liu Bei's trapped in Xiaopei. What's his move?
Well, Zhang Fei confesses he hid the stolen horses in some temples.
Of course he did.
Liu Bei actually tries to make peace, offers to return the horses.
Too late for that, probably.
Yeah, Lu Bu's not having it. So Liu Bei consults his own advisors, Mizu and Sun Qin.
Smart move. Get counsel.
And Sun Qin comes up with a really daring plan. He says, forget Xiaopei. Cut your losses.
Abandon the city.
Yep. Flee to Zudu. Seek refuge with Cao Cao.
Go to Cao Cao, Lu Bu's rival, and someone who also dislikes Lu Bu.
Exactly. The plan is borrow Cao Cao's army, come back, and crush Lu Bu. It's hailed as the best plan.
That's a massive gamble, but it's incredibly pragmatic. Survival first, find a stronger ally, turn the tables later.
Yeah, it's about the long game.
It really poses that question. When is running away a tactical retreat actually a strategic win? Sometimes you have to lose a battle to win the war, right?
Right. So they plan a nighttime escape under the moonlight.
Dramatic.
Zhang Fei leads the charge, smashing through Lu Bu's lines. Guan Yu holds the rear.
Guan Yu, the reliable defender.
Liu Bei's in the middle, protecting his family. They break through Song Zian and Wei Hu's forces.
Made it through the first line.
Zhang Liao pursues them, but Guan Yu manages to hold them off, buying enough time for Liu Bei and the main group to get clear.
Wow. Successful escape. So Lu Bu failed to capture or kill him.
He did, and interestingly, Lu Bu doesn't chase them relentlessly.
Oh, what does he do?
He actually enters Xiaopei, calms down the population, puts his General Gao Shen in charge, and then just goes back to Zuzu.
Consolidates his gains, takes the city he just won.
Seems like it. Decides holding Xiaopei is more valuable than chasing Liu Bei down right then. A bit pragmatic himself, maybe.
Perhaps. Securing the territory. A bird in the hand.
Exactly.
Liu Bei, a pretty big name, arriving in a tough spot. He's on the run from his rival, Lu Bu, that's Lu Bu, and he actually seeks refuge with Cao Cao. And Cao Cao, despite their history, treats him really well at first, high honors, even calls him brother.
Right, and this immediately puts Cao Cao in a strategic bind. It forces a really critical choice, and his top advisors. They are completely split. You've got Sun Yu and Cheng Yu. They see Liu Bei and they think, okay, he's a hero, sure, but he's definitely going to be a problem down the line. Their advice is pretty blunt. Get rid of him now while you can. But then, this is where it gets really interesting. Guo Jia, another one of Cao Cao's sharpest minds, argues strongly against killing Liu Bei. His reasoning is quite profound, actually. He says Cao Cao's entire reputation, the thing he needs to attract the best talent and unify China, it rests on trust and righteousness, Xinyi. Killing Liu Bei, who came seeking protection, that would be seen as harming the worthy. Guo Jia warns that all the other smart people out there, the strategists Cao Cao needs, they'd hear about it and think twice about joining him. It would just undermine everything. He puts it really powerfully. Don't remove the problem of one person at the expense of the hope of the 4 Cs. Wow.
Wow is right. So what does Cao Cao do? He listens to Guo Jia, and he doesn't just let Liu Bei live. He gives him soldiers, 3,000 of them, and a huge amount of grain, 10,000 hu. That's substantial. Then he sends Liu Bei off to Yuzhu, tells him to go attack Lu Bu. So what's this all mean? It really shows this complex calculation, doesn't it? Power versus reputation.
Absolutely. It's about the long game. Cao Cao understands that reputation, that trust. It's an asset, maybe even more valuable than eliminating one potential rival right then and there. He's playing chess, not checkers, even in this really brutal era.
Yeah, a very sophisticated move. But just as they sort of handle that situation, boom, a new threat pops up. Urgent news. A general named Zhang Ji has died. His nephew, Zhang Xu, that's Zhang Xu, he's got this really cunning advisor, Jie Zhu Jiaxu. They form an alliance and are getting ready to attack Cao Cao's capital, Xuchang. So suddenly, Cao Cao's got Lu Bu in the east and now Zhang Xu in the south. A two-front situation.
Yeah, and that's a leader's nightmare, right? He wants to go south, deal with Zhang Xu, but he's worried. What if Lu Bu uses that chance to hit his capital while he's gone? Lu Bu is still out there, still dangerous. How do you handle 2 fires at once with limited resources? A wrong step could lose him everything.
And it's Sun Yu again, the same advisor from before, who comes up with this really clever workaround for Lu Bu. He says, basically, don't fight him, appease him, send an envoy, this guy Wang Zi, to Zuzu, give Lu Bu official titles, rewards, make him feel important, broker a peace between him and Liu Bei. Sun Yu figured Lu Bu was, and I quote, a man who loves profit. He'd be easily distracted by immediate gains, Forget about attacking Su Cheng.
Mm-hmm. And if we just zoom out for a sec, that move is brilliant. It shows such a deep understanding of the opponent's personality. Instead of a bloody, costly battle, Cao Cao uses diplomacy, a bit of strategic generosity, and neutralizes a major threat without firing a shot. It's proving that sometimes the best strategy isn't military, it's psychological, understanding what makes your enemy tick.
Okay, so Lu Bu is handled, at least for now. Cao Cao turns his full attention to Zhang Xu. He gathers this massive army, 150,000 troops. General Xiahou Dun is leading the vanguard. But then, surprisingly, Jie Shu, Zhang Xu's own advisor, tells him to just surrender. And he does. And Cao Cao initially treats Zhang Xu really well, very generously, the sources say. Seems like smooth sailing. But then, oh boy, here's where it takes a sharp turn and gets incredibly personal. Cao Cao settles into the captured city, Wancheng. And one day, he's had a bit too much to drink, and he asks around, are there any singing girls here? His nephew, Cao Min, pipes up. He knows about Lady Zhu. She's the widow of Zhang Ji, who is Zhang Xu's uncle, and apparently very beautiful.
And Cao Cao does something just incredibly audacious. Reckless, really. He summons Lady Zhu, and he tells her point blank that the reason he accepted Zhang Ju's surrender was actually for her. The Chronicle says they then spend the night together. Now, Lady Zhu, maybe she senses trouble. She mentions being worried about what Zhang Zhu might think about gossip. Cao Cao just brushes it off, dismisses her concerns entirely. He even moves her to his main camp outside the city, posting his personal bodyguard, the fearsome Dian Wei, to guard their tent. And the text says he gets so caught up in, well, pleasure, that he starts neglecting his duties. He even delays heading back home.
It's staggering, isn't it, when you think about it? What stands out to you there? It just makes you ask, how can a leader, someone known for strategy, let personal indulgence completely hijack his judgment, put everything, including loyal lives, at risk?
It feels like such a fundamental breakdown.
Oh, absolutely. It's a colossal failure of leadership. You see this brilliant strategist, this empire builder, suddenly undone by impulse, by personal desire overriding everything else. It's not just about Lady Zhu. It's about him losing sight of the bigger picture, of his responsibilities, of the danger he's putting everyone in.
And the fallout. It comes fast. Yeah. Zhang Ji's family tells him what's going on between Cao Cao and his uncle's widow. He is understandably furious. The sources quote him saying, Cao Cao insults me too much.
Game over for the surrender. He immediately goes to Jie Shu.
Right. And Jie Shu, who advised surrender before, now comes up with this absolutely ruthless, brilliant plan for betrayal. Step 1, keep it secret. Utter secrecy. Step 2, Zhang Zhu asks Cao Cao for permission to move his troops. The excuse, oh, some deserters need to consolidate. But the real reason, to surround Cao Cao's camp. Step 3, and this is crucial, neutralize Dian Wei, Cao Cao's bodyguard. The guy's a legend, known for his twin iron halberds, incredibly strong and loyal. Jie Shu knows they can't succeed if Dian Wei is ready. So they bring in another general, Hu Cher. This guy sounds like a superhero, apparently could carry 500 jin, that's like 550 pounds, and walk 700 lines a day, maybe 250 miles. Hu Cher figures out how to handle Dian Wei, invite him to a big feast, get him completely drunk, then sneak in and steal his famous halberds. Without those weapons, Jie Shu reasons Dian Wei is no longer formidable.
Wow. So the plan works.
Perfectly. Dian Wei goes to the feast, gets plastered, and Hu Cher steals the halberds.
That same night, Zhang Zhu's troops make their move. They pretend it's just a night patrol, set some fires as a diversion, and then they attack Cao Cao's camp.
It's chaos. Cao Cao wakes up, calls for Dian Wei. Dian Wei, still groggy from the wine, hears the fighting, reaches for his weapons, and they're gone. The enemy's already breaking through the camp gate. The Dian Wei, in this incredible moment, just grabs a standard foot soldier's short sword saber and charges into the fight. His last stand is just epic. He cuts down more than 20 enemy horsemen, then he's swarmed by infantry with spears. He doesn't even have armor on. He's getting hit by dozens of spears, but he keeps fighting. His saber breaks. So what does he do? He grabs 2 enemy soldiers and literally uses them as weapons, swinging them around, killing another 8 or 9 attackers. Can you even picture that?
That's unbelievable, like something out of a myth.
Totally. The enemy soldiers were terrified, apparently. They backed off, just firing arrows at him like rain. He keeps fighting, defending that main gate, until finally he's struck fatally in the back. He lets out a few cries and bleeds to death right there.
And the source gives this incredible detail, doesn't it? Even after Dian Wei was dead for quite a while, none of Zhang Xu's soldiers dared try to enter the camp through that gate he had defended. What a testament to his bravery, just raw loyalty and force of will.
It really is an absolutely astounding display. It just cements Dian Wei's legend. showing what one incredibly devoted individual could do against impossible odds.
Cao Cao, making a very narrow escape. It's chaos.
He's relying on his bodyguard, Dian Wei, to hold a gate while he gets away.
And this just shows you, even a top general like Cao Cao could be incredibly vulnerable. This isn't some orderly retreat. It's desperate, a fight for survival.
And the personal cost is just staggering. The source lists it out. Cao Cao gets hit in the arm with an arrow. His horse, a great Doan horse, what's apparently a really famous, tough breed, gets hit 3 times but keeps going.
Incredible animals.
But then, tragically, his nephew, Cao Anmin, who's following on foot, he's cut down. The text says, cut into meat mud. Horrible.
It's so graphic, really shows the brutality.
Then they reach the Clearwater River, and Cao Cao's horse finally collapses, shot in the eye.
Oh no. Stranded mid-escape.
But his eldest son, Cao Ang, he's right there. He immediately gives his own horse to his father.
Wow, okay.
And then Cao Ang himself is killed by arrows, shot dead. He sacrifices himself so his father can escape.
The human cost right there is just immense. It's not abstract strategy anymore, is it? It's deeply personal loss for Cao Cao.
Yeah, his son, his nephew.
It really hammers home the harsh reality of command in that world, the kind of sacrifices involved. It's leadership forged in, well, grief as much as anything else.
So he escapes, but barely. And then, almost immediately, another crisis hits.
Right, things don't calm down.
Some of Shahudun's troops, the Green State soldiers, these were like newly surrendered soldiers, maybe not fully disciplined yet.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like trouble waiting to happen.
They start looting, taking advantage of the situation, the text says, to plunder local homes, turning the population against Cao Cao's army right when they need support.
And this is where Yujin, a Pinglu colonel, steps in. He does something pretty decisive and it's controversial.
What's he do?
He leads his own troops to basically intercept these Green State looters and, well, kill them on the road. Then he works to pacify the villagers.
Whoa! Okay, so he's enforcing discipline with lethal force against his own side's allied troops.
Exactly. His priority is clear: restore order, maintain military discipline, and, crucially, keep the local people on side. You can't retreat through hostile territory.
But you can imagine the immediate reaction, right? The Green State soldiers who survived run straight to Cao Cao.
Crying, accusing Yujin of rebellion.
And Cao Cao is greatly alarmed. He's just escaped death, his army's in disarray, and now he hears one of his colonels is killing allied troops.
Yeah, the pressure on Yujin must have been intense. But what's fascinating is his defense. When his own officers question him, like, why didn't you explain to Lord Cao first?
What does he say?
He says, basically, the enemy is right behind us. They could arrive any second. If we don't prepare our defenses now, how can we possibly resist them? Explaining myself is a small thing. Stopping the enemy is the big thing.
Wow, that's incredibly focused. Pure tactical thinking over procedure. Or even personal safety, really.
Completely. Strategy first. And it works.
Oh.
His troops, under his command, they quickly set up camp, dig trenches, get ready. And when Zhongshu's pursuing army attacks, Yujin's forces decisively beat them back. They even chased them for more than 100 liter.
So his controversial decision directly led to a military victory right after a devastating retreat.
Precisely. And then, after the battle, Yujin goes to Cao Cao and explains. He clarifies that the Green State troops were wantonly plundering, losing the people's trust.
And Cao Cao's reaction, given the initial alarm.
He completely gets it. He praises Yujin effusively, says something like, in the middle of chaos, to organize troops, build defenses, endure slander, and turn defeat into victory. Even the famous generals of old couldn't do better.
High praise indeed.
And he backs it up. Awards Yujin gold vessels, makes him a marquis, the Marquis of Yushu Pavilion. But he also rebukes Xiahou the commander of those Green State troops, for the lack of discipline in the first place.
So it shows Cao Cao's pragmatism, right?
Yeah.
He values competence and results, even if the methods are harsh or unconventional. Loyalty is good, but effectiveness under pressure is better.
Exactly. Cold, strategic calculus often wins out for Cao Cao, which makes what happens next even more, well, unexpected.
Okay, what's that?
It's about his grief. Remember, he just lost his eldest son, Cao Ang, and his nephew, Cao Anmin, in that escape. Devastating losses.
Yeah, absolutely. Family, blood.
But the sources, specifically the novel, highlight where his deepest grief lies. It's surprising.
Who does he mourn most?
He holds this big mourning ceremony, and he says, quite explicitly, I lost my eldest son and beloved nephew, but feel no deep pain. I only weep in sacrifice for Dian Wei.
Wait, what? He feels no deep pain for his son and nephew. but weeps only for Dian Wei, his bodyguard.
That's what the text says. It's a startling statement, isn't it?
It sounds incredibly cold, almost unnatural from our perspective today.
Yeah.
What does that tell us about Cao Cao? Or maybe about loyalty back then?
It's really powerful, I think. It highlights this incredibly intense bond between a lord and his personal protector, the one whose absolute loyalty and sacrifice literally saved his life.
So Dian Wei's sacrifice, holding that gate, created this immense personal debt.
Perhaps. A debt and a sorrow that, in that moment, maybe even outweighed the grief for family. Dian Wei's death enabled Cao Cao's survival. It's a brutal insight into the priorities forced upon leaders in such extreme life-or-death situations. Survival maybe depended more on that kind of loyalty than anything else.
That is, yeah, powerful and slightly disturbing thought.
Mm.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Cao Cao's forces get back to his base, Shu Du. And we meet another major figure, Lu Bu.
Lu Bu. A complex character, brave, famously strong, but, well, we'll see.
So an envoy arrives from Cao Cao, Wang Ze. He brings an official imperial title for Lu Bu, general who pacifies the East,
Which sounds impressive.
and also a private letter from Cao Cao, just full of flattery.
Yeah.
And the source says Lu Bu is greatly delighted.
Okay, so right away we see a potential weakness. He likes praise, he likes recognition, his ego is perhaps easily stroked.
Cao Cao seems to know that. But then another envoy shows up almost immediately. This one's from Yuan Shu.
Another warlord. And Yuan Shu has big ambitions.
Huge. He's planning to declare himself emperor, and his envoy is here to demand Lu Bu's daughter in marriage for Yuan Shu's son. An alliance.
How does Lu Bu react to that?
Explosively. He apparently yells, "How dare this rebel!" He kills Yuan Shu's envoy on the spot.
Whoa, okay. No diplomacy there.
None. He cages the other guy who came with the envoy, Han Yin, and then immediately sends his own man, Chen Deng, to Cao Cao
To do what?
to thank for the grace, meaning the title and the flattery, and also to ask Cao Cao to make him, Lu Bu, the governor of Zuzhou province.
So he rejects Yuan Shu's imperial bid violently and then tries to leverage that rejection to get more power from Cao Cao. Volatile, isn't he?
Very. And Cao Cao's reaction when he hears all this?
He's delighted, the text says. He sees Lu Bu rejecting Yuan Shu, and he immediately executes the caged envoy Han Yin. He's using Lu Bu's impulsive actions to solidify the break between Lu Bu and Yuan Shu.
This is where Cao Cao's strategic mind really clicks in, and Chen Deng, the guy Lu Bu sent, plays a key role.
What does Chen Deng do?
He secretly talks to Cao Cao, gives him some advice. He says, Lu Bu, he's like a jackal. Brave, sure, but no strategy. Fickle. You should plot against him and do it soon.
So Lu Bu's own envoy is advising Cao Cao to undermine him.
Yeah. And Cao Cao listens. He acknowledges Lu Bu has wolfish ambitions and basically recruits Chen Deng right then and there as an internal agent.
A spy within Lu Bu's camp. Classic Cao Cao.
And he rewards Chen Deng, promotes him, promotes his father Chen Gui, and puts Chen Deng in charge of managing the affairs of the East, essentially managing Lu Bu.
So Chen Deng goes back to Lu Bu, having successfully gotten promotions for himself and his dad, but not the governorship Lu Bu wanted. This should go well.
Oh, it doesn't. Lu Bu finds out Chen Deng got promoted, but didn't secure the governorship for him. He flies into a rage. He actually draws his sword and is about to kill Chen Deng right there.
See, impulsive, short-sighted, driven by ego and perceived slights, easily manipulated.
But Chen Deng is clever. He apparently just laughs. And then he delivers this absolute masterstroke of manipulation, the hawk analogy.
Ah, yes, this is brilliant. What does he say?
He tells Lu Bu, look, when I was talking to Lord Cao, I told him that keeping you, Marquis Wen, that's Lu Bu's title, is like keeping a tiger. You have to keep feeding it well, otherwise it might bite.
Okay, that sounds like a reasonable assessment of Lu Bu, actually.
But then Chen Deng tells Lu Bu what Cao Cao supposedly replied. He says Cao Cao responded, no, treating Marquis Wen is like keeping a hawk.
A hawk? How so?
If there are no foxes or rabbits around, Cao Cao supposedly said, I don't dare feed the hawk until it's full. When it's hungry, it's useful. But if it gets full, it'll just fly away.
Wow, that's quite the comparison. Seeing Lu Bu as a hunting animal you manage by keeping it slightly hungry.
And Chen Deng says he asked Cao Cao, so who are the foxes and rabbits? And Cao Cao listed all his major rivals, Yuan Shu, Sun Ce, Yuan Shao, Lu Biao, Lu Zong, Zhang Lu.
So the message to Lu Bu is, Cao Cao needs you, his indispensable hawk, to hunt down his enemies, the foxes and rabbits.
Exactly. And Lu Bu completely buys it. He's so flattered by the idea that Cao Cao sees him as this essential, powerful tool, this useful hawk, and that Cao Cao understands it. He literally says, Cao Cao understands me, throws down his sword, and laughs.
It's incredible psychological manipulation, isn't it? He's so blinded by the flattery, by being seen as important and understood, that he completely misses the real meaning.
It is.
That he's just a tool, upon an animal being managed, not a respected equal. Cao Cao is basically saying he'll keep Lu Bu around only as long as he's useful against others, and he'll control him by managing his hunger for power and recognition.
But Lu Bu doesn't see that at all. He just feels validated.
His ego completely overrides his perception of the situation. It's a masterclass in playing someone's vanity against them.
And the irony, the immediate result. Just as Chen Dang finishes spinning this tale,
Let me guess. News arrives.
news arrives that Yuan Shu's army, one of those foxes and rabbits, is attacking Zuzu, proving that old proverb the text quotes, "Tri and Jin did not reconcile, Wu and Yu fought, marriage caused war." The attempt at alliance sparked conflict.
And Lu Bu, the hawk, is immediately needed. Just as Cao Cao via Chen Dang predicted or perhaps even orchestrated, it all falls into place for Cao Cao.